I finished the Pikmin 1 plus 2 remasters less than a month ago and I thought there was little that could be done to add fun to what they already offered, but I was wrong. Very wrong. Pikmin 4 is unquestionably Pikmin. The formula is all there, but it adds more, much more to the game. Since you are here, don't leave without leaving a like or a comment. I would gladly appreciate a sub if you are into game reviews, and do not forget I also give the news, like some sort of poor man CNN. Win-win. Thanks a lot. Perhaps the point where I noticed the least that Pikmin 4 was superior to all the 3 other remasters was in the graphical component. There's a big investment in our characters and enemies to make them stand out and look more visually appealing, but the environments still look a little dated, and even the ground looks like it needs to level up. Even on the Switch, as the levels are relatively small, we are not exactly talking about Zelda Tears of the Kingdom or even Super Mario Odyssey here. However, my complaints with the game end there. I know that the Pikmin formula works quite well with me, but you have to love some of the details and preciousness that were included in the game. Even in the sound aspect where, for example, there is a boss that has swallowed the radio and moves to the rhythm of the beat. Even the sound cues are more noticeable and help us a lot to place ourselves at the time of the day if we are distracted. There isn't much of a change in gameplay, but Pikmin 4 introduces a dog named Oachi who performs a bunch of different actions and work a little bit like a hybrid between a Super Pikmin and a game partner, as he performs many of the same actions that a Pikmin performs, such as attacking enemies, digging up or transporting objects, and it is possible to control it independently to solve puzzles that require 2 people to solve. There are even actions that can only be carried out by this little dog, which are compensated by others that he cannot do. Another of the additions it brings to the game is the ability to transport us and all the other Pikmin, and, at those times, jump small slopes, introducing a small verticality that didn't exist in previous games. Another excellent addition to the game is the automatic lock-on mechanic that did not exist in previous games, and makes life a lot easier for someone like me who has absolutely no way of aiming using a controller, preventing us from shooting at random like a crazy man, especially for flying enemies, decreasing the possibility of unintentionally throwing Pikmins off the stage in dungeons, and making it easier to hit the exact spot we want to hit. This addition, seen in isolation, makes the game much less frustrating, but also much easier to play, which in this case is positive, since Pikmin is not a game that seeks the difficulty of mechanics, but the fun of solving puzzles and exploration. As per usual, the difficulty of solving puzzles goes up with the new areas, but especially with the discovery of new dungeons. There is also an attempt to introduce puzzles whose resolution requires more advanced logic, but given that an important part of the target audience is children, linearity prevails in most of its solutions and, quite honestly, I think that is the right option, making the game a lot more casual and fun, this being one of the ways in which they avoid player frustrations. Another strong investment in Pikmin 4, which is an integral and important part of the game, is Dandori, or the art of multitasking, where we have to, together with our Pikmins and dog, carry out a set of actions against an opponent. The minigame itself is nothing new, already existing in previous games, but here it acquires an important role even in explaining the game's own narrative and lore. As usual, we can play against the others, but there are multiple options in this game to play it against the AI, with the challenge gradually being higher, but without the challenge that would be playing against another person, since against an NPC the strategy ends for being essentially the same regardless of the conditions and obstacles that the game presents us with. Even so, it is an extremely fun minigame that whenever it appeared I enjoyed. Another novelty is that now we can and are even obliged to play at night, something that previously we could not do. During this period, the genre of game changes, starting to be played as a tower defense with the help of a new type of Pikmin that can only be used at night, or of course in dungeons. And this moment of the game tries to explain what happens during the night period, something that we didn't know before. There are two new types of Pikmin, the glowing one that we can use at night and the icy one that can be used to freeze water, allowing other Pikmins to cross over. There is also another way to transport the Pikmins in the water in this game, being transported by our dog, which makes the game much more dynamic. This may give the impression that life is now way much easier, but in practice it just shows how ingenious the developers had to be, even with all these changes, to keep the game challenging. We roll the credits after the fourth area of the game, but this is just the semi-final, if I can call it that. After that stage we still have two more areas to discover and explore. Pikmin 4 doesn't offer just more to the player, it offers much more, maybe even too much. It is a gift that gives and keeps on giving. It seems that every page we turn we find something new, so much so that at a certain point I've started to feel spoiled by it. Fans of the franchise or not, Pikmin 4 has become for me a must-have game for anyone with a Nintendo Switch. Super mega recommended. See you next time, guys. Bye.